The criticism landed like a thunderclap across the media landscape, cutting through the usual royal headlines with a sharpness that few expected. In a fiery segment that quickly went viral, Megyn Kelly did not mince words as she took aim at Prince Harry, declaring that he is, in her view, a victim of his own stupidity. The comment instantly ignited debate, drawing cheers from some corners of the public and outrage from others, while once again thrusting the Duke of Sussex into the center of a global media storm he has struggled to escape. If you found this report insightful, take a moment to reflect on how celebrity culture shapes health trends and why responsible conversation matters. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell for more in-depth coverage that goes beyond the headlines and keeps you informed as these stories continue to unfold. Share this video, leave your thoughts in the comments section. The remarks came amid renewed scrutiny of Prince Harry's public statements, legal battles, and ongoing fallout from his departure from royal life. Kelly's critique was not framed as a personal attack for its own sake, but as a broader commentary on what she described as a pattern of self-inflicted damage. According to her analysis, Harry's repeated decisions to air grievances publicly, challenge institutions he once represented, and position himself as a perpetual victim have eroded sympathy that once existed for him. In her commentary, Kelly argued that Prince Harry's troubles are not the result of persecution or unfair treatment, but of choices he has made repeatedly and willingly. She pointed to his high-profile interviews, his memoir, and his legal fights with the British press as evidence of a man who, despite immense privilege, continues to undermine his own credibility. Kelly suggested that while Harry often presents himself as trapped by forces beyond his control, the reality is far more straightforward. He speaks, he acts, and then he faces consequences. Central to Kelly's argument was the idea that Prince Harry's narrative has grown increasingly inconsistent. She questioned how someone who claims to seek privacy continues to participate in media projects that generate global attention. From televised interviews to streaming documentaries, Harry's presence in the spotlight has been anything but reluctant. Kelly noted that this contradiction has not gone unnoticed by the public, and she believes it is a key reason why patience with the prince has worn thin. The segment also revisited Harry's long-running conflict with the British tabloids, an issue deeply tied to the death of his mother, Princess Diana. Kelly acknowledged the emotional weight of that trauma but argued that invoking it repeatedly does not absolve Harry of responsibility for his present actions. In her view, grief can explain pain, but it does not justify decisions that she believes have been reckless, divisive, and self-serving. Kelly further criticized what she described as Harry's tendency to externalize blame. In her analysis, institutions, family members, and the media are frequently cast as villains, while Harry positions himself as powerless. She challenged this framing directly, pointing out that few people on Earth have had access to the resources, platforms, and protections that Prince Harry has enjoyed. For Kelly, this imbalance makes his claims of helplessness difficult to take seriously. The reaction to Kelly's comments was immediate and intense. Supporters praised her for saying what they believe many have been thinking but were hesitant to voice publicly. They argue that Harry's credibility has been damaged by overexposure and by stories that often shift in tone and detail. Critics, however, accused Kelly of lacking compassion and of dismissing the mental health struggles Harry has spoken about openly. The divide reflects a broader cultural split over how public figures should be held accountable when they speak about personal pain. From a news perspective, Kelly's remarks did more than spark outrage, they reframed the conversation. Instead of focusing solely on Harry's grievances, the spotlight shifted toward the consequences of his public strategy. Analysts noted that the more Harry speaks, the more he invites scrutiny, and that scrutiny often reveals contradictions that weaken his position. Kelly's blunt phrasing may have been provocative, but the underlying question resonated: at what point does self-disclosure become self-sabotage? The controversy also arrives at a time when Prince Harry's public standing appears increasingly uncertain. Polls in the United Kingdom have shown a steady decline in support for him over the past several years, particularly following the release of his memoir and documentary projects. Even in the United States, where he once enjoyed a warmer reception, media commentary has grown more skeptical. Kelly's comments tapped into that shifting mood, giving voice to frustration that has been building quietly. In her analysis, Kelly emphasized that accountability does not disappear simply because someone has suffered. She argued that Harry's wealth, status, and access to power make his complaints ring hollow to many ordinary people facing far greater challenges without a global platform. By framing him as a victim of his own stupidity, she was making a broader cultural point about personal responsibility in an age of endless self-expression. The palace, as expected, did not respond directly to Kelly's remarks, maintaining its long-standing policy of avoiding public comment on media criticism. Harry himself has not issued a statement addressing her comments, though sources close to him suggest he remains focused on ongoing legal matters and charitable work. Still, the silence has done little to slow the conversation, which continues to dominate talk shows, opinion columns, and social media feeds. Media experts note that Kelly's commentary fits within a larger trend of re-evaluating celebrity narratives. In an era where public figures increasingly control their own stories, audiences are also becoming more critical consumers. Sympathy is no longer automatic, and repeated claims of victimhood can backfire if they clash with visible privilege. Kelly's segment, while controversial, exemplified this shift in tone. For Prince Harry, the challenge moving forward may not be silencing critics, but deciding how to engage with the public at all. Each interview, each lawsuit, and each project adds another layer to a story that many feel has become overexposed. Kelly's remarks underscored the risk of continuing down that path, suggesting that restraint, rather than revelation, might serve him better in the long run. As the dust settles, one thing is clear: Megyn Kelly's comments struck a nerve because they touched on unresolved questions about responsibility, privilege, and self-awareness. Whether viewers agree with her or not, the debate she sparked forces a reconsideration of how much control Prince Harry truly has over his own narrative, and how often he may be undermining it himself. This story is far from over, and the reactions will continue to evolve as Prince Harry makes his next move. If you want to stay informed on the latest developments, media reactions, and deeper analysis of how power, fame, and accountability collide in stories like this, make sure to subscribe, share your thoughts in the comments, and stay with us for continued coverage you won't want to miss.